Welcome. Well, you are at home with Jim and Joy, and we are delighted that you have tuned us in and brought us into your home today, because you are an important part of our EWTN family, and we would love to hear from you today during our live show. So give us a jingle at 1-800-221-9460. If you're calling and you're outside North America, you can always reach us at area code 205-271-2980, and you can always send us an email, jimandjoy@ewtn.com. Well, today we have two wonderful guests that came all the way from Poland. And their names are Jacek Malkowski, and he is the creator of a great game called The Road to Bethlehem. And then we have Iwo Bender, who's also with them. And so he is the EWTN manager, the East Central Europe. So they're both going to be here today, and we're going to be talking about the game.
This game that they're speaking about is not just a simple board game. I mean, it's something that comprehensively every member of the family, with their bodies, their emotions, their souls, their spirits, can participate in as they make a journey to Bethlehem to meet the Holy Family. You're going to love it.
It's going to be fun. Well, today I want to share about our gospel reading today, because, you know, I have conversations with people, and sometimes we think like God is like a gumball machine. We put a quarter in and we're going to get what we want out from it. And today it was talking about how we are to ask and to seek and to knock and to keep knocking. And I had a conversation recently with someone in my family, and they going through some hard times, and basing it like, well, I was praying and I was asking God for this, and I didn't get the answer I wanted. And that might happen to us sometime, and we think, well, God didn't hear what I said, or he doesn't love me. And none of that is true. God does hear all of our prayers. Sometimes they just don't get answered the way that we want. And when we don't get the prayers answered the way we want, then sometimes we can get an attitude with God like, he doesn't love me, he's not really listening to me, and he is. And he's with us in all of our trials and with all of our sufferings. And one of her responses was, but this person is such a good person. Why does this have to happen to a good person? As if trials and tribulations only happen to bad people. That's not what the Word of God tells us. The Word of God tells us that trials and tribulations and sufferings in this life are common to us all. And so at the end of the conversation, and it was a lot of listening and loving her where she was and just in this confused state, I said, well, now let's start praying for hope. Let's start praying for courage. Let's start praying for peace in the midst of the storm, because it's obvious the storm isn't going away. Jesus is very near and dear to us in the midst of the storm. So bring God into that. Keep knocking, keep asking, keep seeking, because Jesus wants to be with us in the midst of all of our trials and all of our sufferings. And we just can't, well, okay, I prayed once, God didn't get me what I wanted, and walk away and being dismayed that God didn't answer or hear our prayer.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn about prayer, and we can, you know, make our own theology, and you know, like you said, Joy, with our kids when we were raising our children, if God answered your prayers as a young mother with 4 children, very young, they wouldn't have awakened from sleep until they were 11 years old.
Probably.
You know what I mean? It was like, let them sleep, let them sleep, let them sleep.
Right?
And it's the same thing with the health issue. You know, we want to pray, I want to be healthy, and we want to be healthy, but no one would ever die here on earth. But it's clear from the natural order, it's clear from the fall of mankind that we get sick, and that there's a time coming we're going to die. Unless the Lord comes before that time, and we'll meet him. You know, we'll be united with him. And it's just important for us to receive the whole teaching of the church. And, you know, you kind of wonder, especially with, you know, Catholic people or Christian people, you know, we walk into the cathedral, you know, where we go to church here in Birmingham, and oftentimes I just look, I mean, there's Jesus, a beautiful crucifix hanging upon the cross, almost naked. You know, and it's like, we have this man who, without any clothes on, nailed to a cross at the center of our life. It's like as we pray and think, why are we sick or afflicted, or why does evil happen? Why are there murders in the world? 33 years old or so, and he's hanging there, the most beautiful man ever, God incarnate, upon the cross. It tells us we're going to have problems in this world. And so we want to avoid them as much as we can. We want to pray. We want to be healthy. We want our kids to all be well. But when bad things happen to us, we can't say God didn't tell us.
Right.
Or the road to Bethlehem we're going to be learning about, and the birth of Jesus. No, the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. We need to remember these things, not that we're just looking for pain and suffering, but that when they come our way, and they're going to come your way, in this world we will have tribulation. You will. It's just a matter of when. But you be of good cheer now, because I have overcome this world. It's both of those things together.
Right.
Both of those things together. So we're going to hear from Jacek Malkowski, the creator of the game To the Road to Bethlehem, and Iwo Bender, EWTN manager in East Central Europe. Please stay tuned. You want to know all about this game and what it's about, how it can help really heal the family, and how you might be able to get it and participate. Please don't go away. You're an important part of this family. You're always at home with Jim and Joy.
Welcome back. Well, you are an important part of our EWTN family, and we would love to hear from you. So if you have a question for our guest today, Jacek Malkowski and Iwo Bender, you just give us a jingle during the live broadcast at 1-800-221-9460. If you're calling and you're outside North America, you can reach us at area code 205-271-2980, and you can always send us an email, jimandjoy@ewtn.com, and hopefully we will use your wise question or your comment right here on the air. But before we introduce our guest, we're going to hear from beautiful Catherine Zeltner. Now, she's the host of that great show, EWTN Pro-Life Weekly. Catherine, what's the pro-life news for this week?
Hello from Washington, D.C., Jim and Joy. There is a lot of pro-life news to discuss this week, but the big story is the updated HHS contraceptive mandate, which now grants relief to religious nonprofits and others with deeply held religious or moral convictions regarding contraception. Now, more groups will be protected from having to provide abortion-inducing drugs, sterilization, and contraception under threat of heavy penalties. We talk about all of this with Representative Diane Black and a panel of trusted pro-life experts in our studio. Also important this week, we want viewers to know about our call to action. The Senate has introduced the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act, which would ban abortions at 20 weeks. We need the Senate to bring this up for a vote as soon as possible. So, EWTN viewers, you can make your voice heard on this. Go to prolifeweekly.com and urge your senators to support this pro-life bill. That's prolifeweekly.com to take action. Okay, that's just a little preview for what we've got for you on EWTN Pro-Life Weekly tonight, Thursday, at 10 p.m. Eastern, and again on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Now, back to you at home.
Well, thank you, Catherine. And we encourage all of our family, our EWTN family, to contact their senators so that they do take a vote on this and we save lives. And we begin to chip away at Roe versus Wade. I know in the state of Alabama, we do have that. We enacted that law a couple of years ago, and we run a pregnancy medical center. We had girls coming into the center, and they were 21 weeks. And they started saying, well, now I'm going to have to keep my baby.
To have that all over the country is a good start to bring abortion to an end. In total, thank God for Pro-Life Weekly. We have our own show with EWTN, constantly putting out the sanctity and dignity of the human person from the moment of conception through natural death. It's so good to be Catholic.
Amen. Well, we bring to you these very handsome men all the way from Poland, and they
Handsome
are
men with tough names to say.
Yeah, with tough names to say, but I'm going to do my best. Jacek Malkowski, who is the creator of the game board To Bethlehem, and Iwo Bender, that's not so bad, and he's the EWTN manager of East Central Europe. Gentlemen, welcome to At Home with Jim and Joy.
Thank you very much.
We are so happy to have you. Now, we know you've come very far and you have wonderful things that you want to share with us. But first, tell our family at home a little bit about yourself, who you are, your family back home, and what it is that God is using you to do.
Okay. First of all, I have to stress out that when I'm talking about the game, I'm almost catching fire, so I will be on emotions, and I will make a lot of mistakes, so I apologize in advance for all of this.
We like holy fire.
Yeah.
We like holy fire.
Just
You could
don't
do
set that couch on fire.
Okay.
We had a foundress that was on fire. It's good.
Okay. I'm a Catholic. I've got a wife, Eva, and thanks the Lord for her. And I've got 3 kids, 5, 11, and 15.
Okay.
It's John, Susie, and Barbara.
Those are easy names. John, Susie, and Barbara.
In Polish,
Oh, okay. In Polish.
Jan, Zuzia, i Basia.
That
Okay.
sounds better. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
And we are married for 22 years. Now, so my experience as a father is 15 years, and you know, I think that a lot of parents all over the world have faces the same challenges that we do, and we start to thinking about how to help our families to detach from all those technologies that surrounds us.
Right.
They may be very useful, yes, but sometimes, as you mentioned, they are overused.
Yeah.
And that means that it was several years ago that a lot of people was telling, stop with this consumption things. It's not good. But today we face the even more important problem. It's not just the consumption, but consumption done alone. You may be with your family at home, even in one room, but every person is deep inside their own worlds, with mobiles, with computers. And that's really sad because it becomes that their relations are weakened.
We'll get into the game and how
Yeah.
this is trying to address that.
Yeah.
Ivo, tell us a little bit about yourself. And you're our representative. Is it in Central Europe or East Central Europe?
Central Eastern Europe
Central
or East
Eastern
Central Europe.
Okay.
So it's all the countries that were formerly Soviet bloc.
Is
So
it
from
Poland,
Slovenes,
Germany?
well,
No?
from Slovenia, Croatia, Czech Republic, Hungary, Slovakia, Poland, Ukraine, where we have a station actually. There's EWTN Ukraine, which in itself is a miracle. And up to Sweden, so we're trying to to establish new stations, and we work with Catholic TV stations in these countries. We do co-productions, we do productions about incredible stories of the Catholic Church and Catholic faith in these countries, because the persecution there was extremely tough, especially during the communist era. So so there's a lot of wonderful people that I'm privileged to meet on a daily basis, working for EWTN in this region. So
Thank you for your great work there, for representing us there, and to know that EWTN is there, right in the front line, doing the new evangelization right there on that turf is a wonderful thing. What's your connection here with Jacek and the road to Bethlehem?
well, actually, I met Jacek just maybe half a year ago, maybe a bit more. A friend of mine who's a Knights of Columbus priest told me, "Oh, you have to meet this friend of mine, so you should talk." So,
Strange man, yeah.
so we met, and I met this guy. There was a dreary, horrible winter day in Warsaw, and this strange man starts to talk about, "Oh, I'm very much into board games," and oh my God, you know, orcs with warhammers. That's fascinating. Yeah, tell me more. And within 5 minutes, I was awestruck because he started to describe what he has created and how this game works and how it helps families and how it's imbued with Christianity and it's fun at the same time. Imagine a Christian game which is actually fun to play for the whole family. Okay, and tell me more. And since then we started collaborating and came up with the idea that, you know, it's not enough to have it in Polish in Poland. We need to translate it into all languages, starting with English, and bring it to the world.
You can find out more about it at road2bethlehem.com. road2bethlehem.com. Jacek, you were sharing with us, you know, at the beginning of the show, you were starting to get into, so you was catching fire already.
Yeah.
We had to get Iwo in here. But, you know, you were saying, and I think we mistakenly said a board game, and I'm realizing it's not a board game, really. Is
No.
it? Okay. And your purpose in this, in so many ways, is to the family to come together around faith, but also to get beyond the big technologies today, like computer and smartphones and whatever else, and all the earbuds in. And you're not saying those things are bad, but there's an inordinate desire and a separation from other people, and even a separation from yourself in terms of the human person. We could speak a lot about what is a human person, and you had the greatest teacher possibly on that in St. John Paul II. So that's a little bit of the philosophy. We could share more about that, but I'm going to tell you, you know, I'm not a game board person. I'm not a game person.
You're not a game person.
I'm really like Joy.
Jim is really practical, and I was like, "You want to play a game?" And he's like, "No. What's the point?"
And the bad
like when we got married, this is really true. I would say, and I had 7 brothers and sisters, and we played games a lot. And so I'd say, "Please play Scrabble with me," and he'd go, "Oh," and he'd say, "1 hour. Whoever is the winner at the hour, the game is over." That's how we played
part
board
of the problem
games.
too was like if I won the game,
I'd hit him.
I'd get punched in the eye. I was like, "Are you kidding?" I know she's so competitive and so on.
I do.
So you know, I'm kind of like, but this is beyond that from what I'm understanding, and it isn't a win-lose thing either. So begin to tell us. It's a beautiful box that I'm looking at here. But
Thank you very much.
Share, unpack this for us.
Okay. I really hope that when you used to know this game, you will become a real player with your family, because it's intended for it to build a relationship within the family, and not only family, with friends too. But from the very beginning, it was very obvious for me and for my wife that we need a good, let's say, tool to unite families. It should be not only attractive, it should not only be the mechanics well done, but it should be meaningful in a way that for a Catholic it's very useful. So in this game there is a lot of ideas from teaching from John Paul II, and the most importantly, the whole idea of comprehensive approach to human person as being a body, mind and spirit. This is the first game in the world for which I designed a spatial system of challenges, real challenges. So when you play this game, it happens sometimes that you don't feel like you play the game because you play as you. There are no
You play as yourself.
Yes, that's right.
So I'm not playing a role?
No, not at all.
I'm me.
Because this is the next step. This is not a role-playing game. This is RPG, but real playing game. So your wit, your strength, your agility might be checked during this game. It's up to you how the adventure will go on. So when you start your journey, be prepared for real challenges of body, mind and spirit. So even your courage may be tested. And you will feel real satisfaction for overcoming your fears with yourself or with your team, your family and friends.
How many people can play this?
This is a very good question. The lowest limit is 3 person, because we need one person as a game master, which is more than a guide on the journey. And for a team, you know, the 2 person is the minimum. But there is no upper limit. There is, in a box set, there is, of course, limited quantity of elements for 8 players, but it can be expanded very easily. It's just a common sense. We already played this in a group of 16 people.
Wow.
At the same time, because, you know, it's like a real journey. You don't roll dice, you don't wait for your turn, you just going, okay, you are in the room, of course, but you are imaginary journey, adventuring, you are going on the road, and some things happen, you meet something, and you as a team has to cope with it. What shall we do? How to help him, or maybe not to help him? There are real moral dilemmas, and there are three levels of evangelization.
Before you go,
yeah,
is there just one team, or are there teams against each other? Because if it gets too competitive, she may hit me in the arm. Is it
you wouldn't be on
one
my
team or multiple
teams?
teams?
Jim, you will love it, because yes, there is a rivalry in this game with yourself.
Okay.
This game allows you to know your limits, to go beyond them. I think that for a Catholic, it's a very fundamental that we shall go beyond our limits. We shall develop our abilities, our faith, etc., etc. So there is only one team, and it's very okay, because to cope with those challenges, you need the whole team sometimes.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is intended for all ages. So, for example, my mother, she loves the game, because in this game it happens that she saved whole team, thanks to her
Mothers love that.
Yes, that's right.
They burst the whole team, save the whole team. It's like,
it was very important, because, you know, sometimes there is a problem with communication between our grandpas, grandmas, and grandchildren, and this game allows for this. And when I saw my middle daughter working out together the problem with my mother, they were blushing cheeks, radiant eyes. The difference in age, it was gone. It was non-existent. They were working, they were smiling, they were on emotions, and this is all about it.
This is important too, because if everybody could play, can participate, then I got to admit, I'm a little bit of a control person. So it's kind of like if you're going to ask me questions and do things I don't know, and I fail in front of everybody, I don't like it. Like, she doesn't care. She's like so confident, it doesn't matter.
But if I don't know, I don't know.
What I'm hearing you say, though, it's not a game that's going to embarrass you either. But you're going to excel, be all you can be, but it's not going to be like, I'm going to look dumb in front of everybody.
On the contrary.
Okay. I'm going to look smart?
No, from the other perspective. If the team or you cannot overcome the challenge, it's a very good time for everybody else to cheer you up, to show you the respect that you tried, and even if you didn't manage to do something, it happens on the road, it happens in this journey that
and it happens in life.
Yes, that's right. So we can encourage ourselves.
You were mentioning levels. There's 3 levels?
3 levels of evangelization.
Okay.
Yeah. The first one is a very obvious one. The patron of this game is Archangel Raphael, and you can treat it literally, because we had a lot of signs and a lot of strange stories, as Iwo said. Even until yesterday, it was a really hard day for us, but today morning, it was a miraculous gift from Archangel Raphael to us.
You going to tell us what happened, or no?
Iwo will.
Iwo will? Okay. Go ahead, Iwo.
Okay. Thank you.
It's live TV. You should lay it out there, buddy. That's good.
No, very briefly, because in order to introduce this to the English-speaking audience, we decided to go on this fundraising website called Kickstarter.
Okay.
And it took us a very, very long time. There were hurdles all the time. You know, when the bank was trying to set up an account, the computers crashed and
Unexpected errors.
It took.
Nobody know why.
And we were supposed to be done, you know, 2-3 weeks ago, and finally yesterday, we managed to send them the whole form, and we got an answer saying, in 5 days, on Monday, you will get a reply whether you're okay or not to launch the campaign on Kickstarter. And we're sitting there with Jacek, okay, we're going on Jim and Joy show with nothing to show for it. What are we going to tell the world? Maybe next week we'll have something.
That would have been okay with Joy, but not me.
Yeah. So
I was just got in the process.
So you can imagine our mood last night. And this morning, after breakfast here at the network, Jacek says something to me, and I had to ask him to repeat this literally 4 times. Well, we got an email from Kickstarter saying that we're good to go, and you can just press launch and launch the campaign today. Okay?
Hallelujah.
So
I was working on my breath for 1 hour. You know?
Let's pause right there. We do have to take a break. That's good news that we can launch it today right here at home with Jim and Joy. It's road, the number 2, Bethlehem.com. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. We're going to unpack this game and how you can be involved, how you can get it. Don't go away.
Welcome back. Well, remember that we want you to be a part of our show. So if you have a question for Jacek or Iwo, you just give us a jingle during the live broadcast at 1-800-221-9460. If you're calling and you're outside North America, you can reach us at area code 205-271-2980. And you can always send us an email, jimandjoy@ewtn.com. And hopefully we will use your question or your comment right here on the air.
Well, Jacek, I know that you're going to help us to understand this game better, but something that helped me was watching a short little clip on the road to Bethlehem, and kind of like why you were doing it, you know, was there, and then a little bit about it. So as we can, let's go to this video, and we'll learn more about this very special game.
I put 2 years of work into creating the road to Bethlehem. It's based on my experience, which I call 3 times 15. 15 years of being a father, 15 years of being a business trainer, and 15 years of being a role-play game master. It was already played and enjoyed by many families in Poland and in the United States.
The Road to Bethlehem is a fun and engaging game for up to 12 players of all ages. It is collaborative, it feels like role-playing games, but you don't play a role, you play as you. And you don't just use your mind or follow instructions from the beautiful book of adventures, as it incorporates various challenges which test the player's wit, dexterity and keen eye, and make playing it so exciting. Not just the emotions are real, this is a completely new way to play. It also weaves in seamlessly biblical characters and real-life moral dilemmas. It helps us learn about how to make the right decisions and how to work together to achieve the ultimate goal, meeting the one born in Bethlehem.
A really helpful piece. And so take us further in terms of how this actually works practically.
Okay. These 3 levels of evangelization means that the first one is quite obvious. We travel under the wings of Archangel Raphael. We meet him. He asks us questions. Finally, if we find a manger in time and space, because that's how we travel, we can meet the Holy Family. And this becomes a real personal experience, because it's made using the best examples from our faith. Even Jesus used parables to address people, to help them understand what he's talking about. Then the Saint Francis of Assisi, he created first creche to help us to reconnect with the manger, with the Holy Family. And this is the intention of this game too. So this is the first level. The second one is a creative one, because in this game you will meet biblical themes and characters, but you may not recognize them for the first place. Because when you travel through time, you may meet something, but his age or her age may be quite different than you visualize the person. And the third, the most important for me level, is the moral dilemmas and consequences, because we face a lot of real dilemmas in this game. And this was the very first experience for my family, when we met an old man in a sandstorm. And the team, my family, decided that, okay, we will save his life even against his will. You know, it's sometimes very hard. And after that, he was in despair. He was crying. He didn't thank for that. And at the very first possibility, he detached from the team and walked away. My middle daughter was so frustrated with this that he was walking by my wife for 3 days, asking, "Mother, how could he do something like this? How is? We helped him. We saved his life. He didn't thank us.
He didn't appreciate it.
He didn't appreciate it at all." And you know, this is the best, because that for the parents, it gives us in a position that we answer the questions.
Right.
We are not just lecturing kids. They don't like it at all. So this is how it works. And this real personal experience is because this game is, you know, we got emotions from God, and we should employ these emotions for the right purpose, to build relations within our families, with other peoples. Now the emotions are used not for this right purpose. In this game, they are again on the right course, on the right path, because you know, as I was a business trainer, I used to ask people questions, and after the game, I asked them, "Okay, you managed this to meet the Holy Family. Do you remember how the Saint John was look like? He was tall or middle? He has hair or no hair? Oh yes, he was a curly hairs."
This is what they saw.
Yes, they saw them with their eyes of imaginary, but they saw them. So when you are back in church and you hear about Saint Peter, Saint Mary, you have their own vision of them. You can reconnect with them, and that works especially well for children, because the youngest one, yes, it was about the Saint Peter. Yes, I remember in Bethsaida, I catch him. Wow. he met him, and it was real personal experience for him. So this game is about reconnection with family, yes, but with our great characters, saints from our faith, and with the Holy Family.
Right. And that's so beautiful, because we do so much to make the saints alive to our children,
yeah,
and you
that's right.
encounter them. And then here in a game, you know, you're having the characters, but then who are those real people?
Yeah,
you know, and you
that's
could
right.
go
You
and
have to
discover who they
explore,
are.
to discover, yeah.
And encounter that.
It takes some
beautiful world.
time.
It not only time, but you know, it's very important to pledge a time for your family.
Right.
If you spend time with your family with a meaningful way, you build a relations, you help them. Yes, this game is intended not to be in the kids' room. It's intended to be in a living room on the bookshelf, because it's a tool for parents,
And you're
especially
saying,
for
and that's good,
homeschoolers.
the living room
Right.
is saying, this is where we live.
Yeah.
We want to actually live here and communicate with one another and have an encounter with each other in community, working together on our journey to meet more fully our Lord and his people.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. Yeah.
And the thing about time is we say, oh, I don't have any time for that. But how much time do we spend in front of a television where we're there together, or how much time, like you said, everybody's on their own little phone, connected in their own little world, and hours go by. And you haven't spoken to another human being. You haven't said anything to another human being. So it's a matter of prioritizing and saying, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go straight to an email. It says, it seems that with all the outside activities families have today, there is not much family time anymore. And it's a struggle to get the family together for a simple meal. How do you interest teens in sitting down with the family to play a game? And this is Rhonda from Trout Lake, Washington.
Okay.
So
thank you
what's
very
your
much.
trick?
Yeah, this is it. I've already prepared. Because yes, of course, it is time consuming, and it should be time consuming. But to attract people to sit down, to start playing, there should be a lot of fun. So there is some kind of trivia question, but it is not just a simple trivia. We re-engineered it, because there is, of course, a question and 5 answers, but only one answer has a 0 effect. All other answers has the effect. Can I try it on you?
Okay.
Don't embarrass me. Very good.
Oh, you can't be
I
embarrassed.
can't be embarrassed. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The Holy Family had to flee because of A, climate change, B, the Romans, C, a murderous ruler, D, Herod, E, the government.
It's good. Yeah, I can see 4 of those answers there. Yeah.
It may be that
Herod, the
some
government, yeah.
answers
government.
are good. One is the best.
Right.
Some is creative. Some is humorous. It's for fun. And when you start with this, there's almost instantly laugh and joy around the people. And they, okay, what do you got there? And okay, maybe you want to try it. Okay, let's start. Okay, one more.
One more. Let's see. They're pretty
You're
good.
looking for one you can
Okay.
Don't repeat yourself.
How did the Holy Family travel to Bethlehem? A, in a hybrid, sandal and donkey. B, walking and riding. C, in an environmentally friendly way. D, on horseback. E, in a rented RV.
Yeah. Rented RV. No, see, there's only one out of the 4 that's
But
really
actually,
kind of
if you choose this one, it is a creative one, and if you can explain it, right, to the rest of the team, and the team say, okay, it sort of
I like
makes
the
sense.
hybrid one. That was cool.
Well, yeah.
And even on
it
the
was true,
previous
no?
question, the climate did change.
Yeah,
it got
exactly.
to be a hostile environment,
Exactly.
right? I mean, the powers and principalities really took over.
So if you answer the creative question and the rest of the family will show the thumb up, okay, you will earn the privilege to reach into the depths of bag of surprises and to take one item, and it will, I think, surprise you. won't do this time because.
I was looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay. There are some. Okay.
Quick, let me see.
For example, this one. Normally, it will you would.
Kindness. Help another player with a personal challenge.
You have the right, if you see the other player that he cannot overcome the challenge, now you have the right to help him with a personal challenge. And this is the next opportunity, another opportunity to build
Would I have read that out
relations.
loud or no? Would I have read that
it's
out
up
loud?
to you.
Okay. Okay.
It's up to you.
Joy, let's take a phone call.
Okay, we have Karen on the line. Karen, welcome to At Home with Jim and Joy. Your question or your comment today?
Oh, hi. How are you? Love this game. I'm a newly Catholic of 2 years. Hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
And although I'm newly Catholic, my family, my children are like, Christian Pentecostal. And I was just definitely getting the game. And I was just wondering, is this how would it benefit not only the Catholic, but like the, just a general Christian?
you.
My children go to like Christian
Can it work?
churches.
Can it work in a Pentacatholic household? Pentacatholics. I don't know.
It works even with
was good, huh?
agnostics and atheists. There were several. We got a lot of feedback from Poland because there was a promotional edition of this game in Poland, and we've got a lot of feedback from homeschoolers because it's a perfect homeschooling device, and from several families we've got information that they played this game with atheists, and they really enjoyed the game. And this game is intended to intrigue about the faith, because it's not just a plain, you meet everybody, you know everybody.
Right.
No, it's some kind is intriguing. It
Yes.
changes perspective. And those people were, I didn't see it like this.
Right.
How could it be?
Yeah, that's
And
good.
it started this discussion.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, even if you had a guest over, I mean, they could be part of the game, and if they didn't believe, it's like you have to believe in it. No, you don't, but you might learn something about the faith, and it's like, just studying something, so at least you know the characters and what's going on here. So tell us more. How do we move along? How do we get together? How do we go
Okay.
someplace?
Every game begins with these cards, encounter cards. How do you like them?
They're beautiful.
Absolutely beautifully done. Great colors.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
All this graphic design is one of the first gifts from Archangel Raphael, because when I learned how much it will cost, I was really frustrated. Thousands of dollars to prepare it. I was really fierce about it should be beautiful to attract my kids, other people. And I was on the road to pick up my kids from school. And from the one moment, I felt that something important is coming. And when I entered the schoolyard, I saw a man standing in front of the gates of school. I don't know him at all. I understood that he's father of some kids, because we are in a school of St. Francis of Assisi. And with every step, it was more and more conviction that I should tell him about the project.
Yeah.
With every step, not that I have to, I should tell him, okay? So I was so frustrated. It's really hard to stand up in front of a stranger.
Let me tell you about my game. Yeah, really? Okay.
Let me tell you about my problems.
Okay.
Yeah? I need to raise thousands, 10,000s of money for this.
Yeah.
Oh, now help me. Yeah. It's really hard. So when I stand before him, I was so frustrated, then I just stared at him. And he was, what this guy's all about? What's all about? Okay, but I let my ego go, and I started talking to him. And I was so frustrated that I even didn't give him my name. So he interrupted me after 1 minute. Hello, but man, you are from around here?
Yeah.
Who are you? Yeah, oh, yeah, yes, my kids go to this school. But listen. Okay, he listened to me. After several minutes, he told me that thank you for this sharing, but he's late and he has take his kids and go back home, but he will call me at the evening. Okay, thank you. I was thinking that was polite, but okay. He called me this evening. He gave me a number to another man, which I at the same time I make a phone call and prepare a meeting. And the next day, after 15 minutes about explaining what is it all about, he told me, okay, my company will do this. Okay, but what? You will make some graphics for a lower price. My graphic designers will do all of this. But okay, but the cost, I know it's I have zero budget, zero budget. We will do this for free.
We're going to break at that point. So that is amazing that God led you to do that, and they took care of the whole deal.
Yeah.
Plenty more to come. It's The Road, #2 to Bethlehem.com. We're going to carry them over into the final segment. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Well, you are an important part of our EWTN family, and we would love for you to join us live right here at home and be a member of our studio audience. Today, we have a very large group from North Dakota and Missouri. They came very far.
Minnesota.
And all you need to do is contact the EWTN Pilgrimage Department. Just send them an email, pilgrimages@ewtn.com. Give them a jingle at 205-271-2966 and make your request known and come to Irondale, Alabama, and then go to Hanceville to Mother's Resting Place. We're so excited to have a great audience here today. Well, right now we're going to go straight to Rome to hear from Joan. Joan, what do you have for us today?
Well, greetings from Rome to all of you at home. Now, Pope Francis this morning celebrated a massive Thanksgiving at the Basilica of St. Mary Major, and this is for the centenary of the Congregation for Oriental Churches and the Pontifical Oriental Institute. He visited the Institute before Mass because the two of them are only about a block apart in the heart of Rome. Now, this congregation cares for the 23 religious traditions of the Eastern rites that are in full communion with Rome. You would probably know names such as Melkite, Maronite, and Chaldean. And there's about 16 million faithful in these 23 churches, and that's about 1.5% of Catholics worldwide. Now, yesterday at the audience, the Pope had lovely words of greeting for Cardinal Sandri, who's the prefect of this congregation. And the Cardinal and the members are meeting in plenary assembly this week. And the Pope recalled that yesterday, the 11th, was the liturgical memory of Pope St. John the 23rd, and he entrusted the work to this saint. Now, also Wednesday, I want to go back a minute, at the audience, the Holy Father noted that Friday, tomorrow, October 13th, is the end of the centenary celebrations of the Marian apparitions at Fatima. And he told the faithful, he said, with our eyes turned to our mother, Mother of our Savior and Queen of Missions, I invite everyone, especially in this month of October, to pray the Holy Rosary for the intention of peace. And then, interestingly, he said, may prayer move the most unruly souls so that they banish violence from their hearts, from their words, and from their gestures. And may they build nonviolent communities that care for the common good. And he said, nothing is impossible if we pray to God, and we can all be artisans of peace. And in other words, by the way, at the end of the audience, in his language greetings, he addressed Arab-speaking pilgrims. And he noted in particular to those from Lebanon, the Holy Land, and the Middle East, he said, After giving a catechesis on hope, he said, "Our hope is based on the certainty of Christ's return and on being able to receive him. For this reason, let's not abandon ourselves to the flow of events with pessimism, as if history was a train that lost control. Resignation is not a Christian virtue," he said. "May the Lord bless you and protect you from evil." So that's it from Rome today. Back to you at home.
Thank you so much, Joan. Artisans of peace. I love that phrase. Jacek, you only have a couple of minutes left, so what would you want to share with us? How can we be a part of this, get this?
Okay.
What do we need to do?
Two more things. It's very easy to start playing with this game because it's designed for it. So there is a quite thin manual with a quick start section that allows to start the game about 5-10 minutes. You don't have to memorize anything because you've got manual, and the Book of Adventure leads you by your hand step by step. So it's very, very easy, and you start the storytelling to your family and then real challenges and activities. And now we are starting today, we are live on Kickstarter. And if you want to help us to reach to the homes of American families, every English-speaking family, please support our project on a Kickstarter. Because, you know, on a Kickstarter, there are a lot of projects, but this is only one Christian project at the moment. This is our game.
So if they want to get it, they can go to Kickstarter.com. Kickstarter.com. They can make a
and look for
donation
the Road to Bethlehem. The Road to Bethlehem. You will find it easily, and you can choose your pledge, even with very small amounts. But you know, even few dollars shows the other people, because it's your vote for something that is Christian, that is meaningful, and of course we would love this game to reach to as many homes as possible all over the world, and we've got plans for this. But for now, this is especially for the US.
Thank
Jacek,
you.
Iwo, thank you so much for
Thank you.
being here with us.
Thank you very much.
Being such wonderful representatives of your country and of St. John Paul II. Thank you so much for being with us today. You can go to Kickstarter.com in order to get the Road to Bethlehem. God bless you and all of your loved ones. Keep it on EWTN. Bye now.